Hey everybody, welcome back to Rocky Mountain Style. My name is Patrick. Today I'm going to be giving you the first look at my newest pair of boots, which are the Allen boots from Parkhurst in brown smooth leather on their 602 last. I'm going to talk about my short experience with them. I've only had them a couple of weeks and have only gotten to wear them about 4 or 5 times, but I'll tell you about that. We'll tell you about the boot and the specs, and then I'm going to tack the unboxing video on the end. Now these boots will be one of my 6 pairs that I'm putting in what I'm calling my long-term review stable. So there'll be 5 others, and once I get that 6th boot in that I'm currently waiting on to have built, I will introduce all 6 of those to the channel. I was originally going to try to do 10, but I think that's probably just too many. I wouldn't really get to wear them enough to have meaningful, 6-month and annual reviews into perpetuity. So we're cutting it down to 6. I did pitch this idea to Parkhurst to work together. Thankfully, Andrew was happy to hop on board with me, so really appreciate that, and I'm really happy to have these Parkhurst Allens in my long-term stable. The Allen is a classic plain toe service boot style. It has a really nice silhouette that I think is pretty easy to pick out of a lineup of other similar styled boots. And let's face it, to the layman, they all kind of look the same, but to us boot addicts, you can definitely tell, and I think the Parkhurst has a really nice silhouette. And this particular style in the brown smooth leather, I think is a nice classic addition to the Allen lineup. It does come in slightly cheaper, 10 bucks I think, slightly cheaper than the other lowest Allen boots, and they go up from there. It was part of a slightly bigger production run according to Parkhurst, so these should be around for a little while. I think that was a good call because I really do like this boot and I think it's a great addition. This is my first 602 lasted Parkhurst boot. My other pair, my Niagaras that I have in light brown waxy commander, are a 602M lasted boot. And I've been asked a few questions already when I announced these boots, the difference between the two, so I'll do my best to explain, at least for my foot. Of course, we all experience the way a last feels slightly differently based on the shape of our foot. But according to the website, the 602M has slightly more room in the toe box, slightly more volume, and that is basically manifest as having about 1 millimeter more room near where your pinky toe is. So I put my Allen boot on my left foot, my Niagara boot on the right foot, and I walked around last night around the house for 2 hours or so, trying to feel the differences, sitting down, moving my feet around, really trying to, go outside my body, and just sort of feel the boots, on my feet. And for me, I experienced the difference in the feel pretty much exactly like the website says. There's a little bit more room that you can feel right near your pinky toe. So your mileage may vary, of course. The two really aren't that different in my opinion. They both feel great. They both fit me wonderfully. I take my normal size 10D in these. I do have to wear slightly thicker socks, but that's totally fine. I expect to wear thick socks with boots in general. So my normal 10D that I take, you could say is on the moderate to roomy side, but with thick socks, they're perfectly fine. My Brannock is 10.5D, so this is half down from Brannock, and I wear 10D in pretty much everything. So there's my sizing advice for you. Let's talk a little bit about the leather itself. The brown smooth leather is from the Lafargue Tannery in Leon, Mexico. You've probably heard of that. They make lots of leather for lots of different applications, and there's lots of boots made there in Leon as well, the boot-making capital of the world, as their Chamber of Commerce likes to say, or whatever they call it down there. So this leather is a combo tan leather, meaning it starts out being chrome tanned and then it's finished veg tanned. And there's, you can do different proportions of those two processes to get slightly different properties for leather. So just because a leather is combo tanned doesn't mean it's the same as another leather that's combo tanned. So then of course they take the proverbial oils and waxes and hot stuff them in the leather, and it gives a nice pull-up effect. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, that sounds like you just described Chromexcel leather. Yeah, pretty much. It's made, as far as I can tell, the exact same way that Chromexcel is made. And believe it or not, at least through 4 or 5 wears, I think it's actually 4 wears, through 4 wears, the grain break on these is as good or better than the best Chromexcel boots I've had, and is significantly better than the worst Chromexcel boots I've had. So I think this brown smooth leather from Lafargue is actually a pretty big winner. And whether or not when these go out of stock, whether Andrew restocks something in this leather, who really knows, but I hope he does, because really am a big fan of this. It's a plain brown leather. It's a brown boot, right? So it's not going to be It's not ever going to be flashy or in your face, but it really does have a lot better character in person than, you know, it might look in the pictures. And I'm a big fan. Really excited to see how it's going to age with time. So hence it being added to the 6-boot rotation. And like I said, this was just an introduction to the boots today. So we're pretty much done. I'll put a link in the description to these boots on Parkhurst's website. Thanks again to Parkhurst for sending these my way so that I can include them in my long-term stable. And if you are interested in things like unboxings, I did an unboxing on these when I first got them, so I'm going to tack that on right here. So stick around and watch that if you care. If not, have a great day. Thanks very much for spending your time with me. All right, welcome to the unboxing portion. I'm really excited about this one because, as you know, this is on the 602 last. I've only ever tried the 602M last, so I'll finally be able to compare the two. Thank you very much, Andrew. Appreciate you. Right, put the knife down. Okay, got our second set of laces. Look like a flat cotton brown waxed lace by the Shimmer. We'll see what's in them to begin with. All right, so got individual Parkhurst shoe bags. That's cool. I think that's the first time I've seen these. Don't know if they're new or if they're just on some of the boots, but don't believe I got these on my Elmwoods or my Niagaras. But pretty cool. Also, boots are in plastic, which is nice. All right. Let's look what smooth brown leather looks like. All right. Yeah, first glance looks really nice. Definitely has a Chromexcelian sheen to it. See if there's any pull up. There is. Yeah. Feels and the smell's not quite the same as Chromexcel, but you know, of course, this isn't Chromexcel, so that's fine. Really nice silhouette. I think that's one of the prettier plain toe silhouettes on the market, so I'm really excited to finally be able to test out an Allen boot. I like how the backstay comes up really high all the way to the top, like that. I think that's a cool look. All right, let's look up close and look at the stitching on the welt. I'm gonna, let's see, readjust the focus here. All right, there we go. Everything looking really nice so far. Okay, there we go. There's our join. Not the smoothest I've seen, but you know, that's just kind of how Goodyear welts are. Nothing worrisome, I think, about that. Okay, looks good. Close up at the heel stack. Of course, leather heel stack. Got the nice lug outsole. Nice and smooth, yeah. Heel stack looks well done. Midsole looks well done. I like how the stain on the side of the welt and the midsole isn't the same. It gives a little bit of extra visual interest to that construction layering there, which I think is pretty cool. I actually didn't notice that in the pictures. I'm just noticing it for the first time right here. So as with any leather, especially this kind of leather, Chromexcel, I guess, you know, I'm going to quit calling it Chromexcelian because that's a weird word. You know, combo tanned, hot stuff, that kind of leather, you're going to get scratches on it. I've never had a pair of boots arrive from any brand in this type of leather that didn't have, you know, a scuff or two. I mean, you can look at them the wrong way and they'll scuff, but, you know, they should more or less rub out to the point where you can barely see them. So, all right, so big fan of the 5-eyelet 3-speed hook configuration. For me personally, on a 6-inch sort of service style boot, 5 eyelets, 2-speed hooks is my best config, but I'm okay with 3 also. Believe that's the same as I have on my Niagara, and I do like it. Okay, so yeah, you get 2 sets of laces. So these are the round waxed cotton laces, and then of course I showed you before. I'm gonna take them out of the bag here. These are the flat. So we'll try them both, but my guess is that I'll probably end up liking these round ones because I think they just fit well with, you know, round eyelets and everything being rounded. Just has a nice balance to it, I'd say. All right, let's look at the outsole. So, all right, so you can see the nails there. Looks like 11 nails. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 4. Yep, all right, 12. My estimate was off by 1. That's a shame. Size 10. Parkhurst handmade leather shoes and boots. This is my first pair that has the stamped outsole, so I'm glad to finally get one of those. That's pretty cool. It's a nice little touch there and much needed for branding. You can see the stitching going through. Don't see any issues. Very nice spacing, it looks like. About equidistant to the edge all the way around. No issues whatsoever. And of course we've got, it's going to be hard to see there with the light, but we've got the Parkhurst buffalo down there where your heel goes. And it's unlined on the inside, so it's kind of like rough out there. I believe the tongue should be gusseted. And the second boot's going to be a lot quicker, guys. We're not going to go over this much on the second boot. But yeah, look, we've got gusseted tongue there, which I also appreciate. And the gusset starts here at the 5th eyelet. So, pretty good gusseting. All right, I'm excited about that. And there goes. Yeah, you can probably hear that. I just knocked over one of my daughter's playthings. So now there's about 200 beads all over the floor. I didn't realize it was on the bench that's on that side of the table. Good time. So I'll be doing a cleanup after we look at this boot here. All right, nice and smooth. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you're nice and smooth up here where you actually look at the boots when you're looking top down, to me that's the most important part to get right. You know, if there's, I don't know, scratches or something on the inside there, doesn't really bother me. I just like to make sure the toe is nice and clean when I first get them, and that looks nice and good. Let's look at the stitching up close of the welt here. A little bit of a nick there, no big deal, very tiny, because we are very close up here. Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. There's the join. Again, like I said on the first one, it's fine. I've seen worse. Not a big deal if the join isn't 100% aesthetically aligned, but structurally it's just fine. Heel stack feels and looks fine. Yeah, this is nice leather. You're always, well, I don't know if you are always, I'm always wary of, I got a little bit of a, let's look at the other one, see if it was the same. So it's a little bit, you can see here, this is what I'm looking at, let me point to it here. So right here, the edge of that piece of leather, a little bit lighter, a lot lighter, you know, just natural edge. On this one, it looked like it wasn't, almost like it was tanned more. So maybe that came from a different piece, or a different side where the dye didn't get all the way down in, because you don't see that natural shade. Let's see if I can hold them up. Yeah. It's really not that big of a difference now that I look at it. Maybe it's just the way the light's hitting it. Either way, it doesn't bother me. I just noticed it on camera. You can't even really tell in person. But where was I? Yeah, anytime you see a new leather, I'm always a little bit wary of what it's going to look and feel and smell like. But this feels like great leather. From Lafargue Tannery, of course, as I'm sure I've already mentioned in the beginning of the video. They're in Leon, Mexico, or the state of Guanajuato, whatever you want to identify it as. But yeah, big fan. So thanks a lot for watching through the video. If you made it this far, really appreciate it. And I will be wearing these around as part of my new 10-boot long-term rotation. These have entered in, and so we're going to get regular updates on these, 6 months, year, 2 years, forever, until they fall apart or until I need to resole them. So yeah, if you ever have any questions about these, don't hesitate to ask me, and have a wonderful day. Thanks.